What was your town's biggest scandal? When I was 17, I took a part-time job at the only diner in our town because my little sister Lily had been coughing more often and losing weight faster than the doctors could explain. They had ruled out everything obvious, so my mom kept bringing her to specialists, and the bills were piling up. Every time I washed dishes or wiped the counter, I glanced out the window overlooking the creek behind the parking lot, the same creek Lily used to splash in before her sickness took hold. The diner had a lot of regulars, including the mayor, Harold Crane. He came in nearly every afternoon around 3, always shaking hands and flashing that polished smile like he owned every cracked sidewalk in town. Everyone seemed to trust him. Some said he was the reason our little place was still hanging on. One night after my shift, I stayed late to clean. One of the waiters, Tom, was flipping through a battered notebook. I spilled coffee and cursed under my breath, and he looked up and asked if I wanted to see something. Curious, I nodded. He pulled out a folder stuffed with photos, receipts, and maps documenting strange activity in the woods just outside town, illegal logging, but not small time. This was organized and tied to some of the most respected men in our community. My stomach twisted as he explained the forest was being torn up to hide a scandal nobody wanted to face. What kind of scandal? I asked. Tom's voice dropped. They say the forest hides old mistakes, things people hoped would stay buried, but the trees don't lie. I thought about Lily's coughing, her pale skin, and the spike in illnesses at school. This wasn't just environmental damage, it was personal. Over the next few weeks, Tom and I gathered snippets of conversations, video clips from the woods, and secret documents. I kept it all hidden in my locker, buried under chemistry notes. Mayor Crane kept coming into the diner, acting like nothing was wrong, patting my shoulder like I was just another kid passing through. Finally, we had enough. We took everything to the county sheriff, but the real turning point came when we confronted Crane in the diner. Friday afternoon, just after 3. He slid into his usual booth, unaware the place was packed with neighbors who'd heard whispers. I poured his coffee with shaking hands while Tom stood near the register, folder in hand. When Tom called his name, Crane looked up, smile faltering the moment he saw what was in Tom's hand. He tried to laugh it off, but Tom didn't flinch. One by one, he laid out photos of rusting barrels half buried near the creek, invoices for shipments marked agricultural runoff that never existed, internal memos urging health officials to downplay contamination. The final blow was a voice memo of Crane joking with a contractor about how easy it was to dump and walk away, because no one cares about hick towns with no lawyers. A journalist from the state paper was already live streaming from a corner booth. The sheriff walked in minutes later with 2 deputies. Crane stood fast, knocking over his coffee and ranting about forged evidence and conspiracies, but no one moved to help. Not the regulars. Not the town councilman near the jukebox. Not the cook behind the counter. Crane was arrested on the spot. The charges: criminal negligence, conspiracy to commit fraud, illegal dumping, obstruction of justice, and reckless endangerment. He didn't go quietly. He screamed about his legacy, about how this town would be nothing without me. But as the deputies led him past the window overlooking the poisoned creek, everyone just watched him go. The trial was brutal. Townspeople testified, parents of sick kids, retired loggers who'd been paid to stay quiet, and the old school nurse who'd tried to warn us years ago. The evidence held up. His bank records showed hush money payouts. Lab results confirmed mercury, arsenic, and other toxins in the water and soil. He was sentenced to 37 years without parole. The family trust was fined millions. Part went to a health fund for families, the rest funded cleanup crews and new infrastructure, including a pediatric clinic named after the nurse who never stopped pushing. Lily got better slowly. She's still tired, but the cough is gone, and she laughs again, and she swims.